Okay, so this is a dirty word for a lot of people. It really triggers a lot of people, and that word is sabotage. Hi, I'm Susan Bushel, and I am an EFT International accredited EFT trainer, and I teach and train EFT students, and I also do one on one sessions with people online, and hopefully soon again back in person as well. So, sabotage. So for people who are already tappers or people who are interested in getting better at tapping, want to become sort of more advanced at tapping, have to really begin to understand how to work with sabotage, or what in the EFT world we sometimes like to call psychological reversal, which is basically there's one part of me that really, really wants to get over this problem, wants to clear this issue, wants to release it, wants to move on, wants to be free from it. And then there's another part of me that is uncomfortable, but more afraid of, or more worried about what it might mean if I actually do let this go, or what am I going to let go of or lose, no longer have access to if I get over this problem, this issue, this dilemma, whatever. If I finally release this thing that happened to me and I'm no longer upset about it, how's that going to change my life? And so sometimes when we're tapping on something, we sabotage, we get in our own way. This is really, really common, especially with adults, with our big brains and all the intricacies. And there's some easy ways to kind of notice that, to sort of become aware of it. And one way is that you've got a lot of yeah buts, right? So you're tapping away, yeah, but this, yeah, but that, yeah, but I could, yeah, but I, if only, right? And so it's not that you're doing it on purpose. It's not that you're trying to get in your own way, but that is definitely a little red flag. If you're noticing, I got a lot of yeah buts around this. I really want to let it go, but there's this other thing going on for me. The other way to tell, of course, really simple way, is if you're a tapper and you know about the SUD scale, 0 to 10. How distressed do I feel about this? And you're measuring frequently, which you should be doing. When you're tapping, you should check in with that feeling. How does that issue feel now? Noticing any distress or discomfort in your body. And if you're sitting at a SUDS level that is not dropping, so you're tapping a few rounds, you're diving in, but then you're still at a 5, still at a 5, tapping some more. Still at a 5, still at a 5. And the SUDS is just not decreasing as it usually would. Then you've got to pause. Then what you're up against, which is sort of the third big clue, is you're in fight or flight, right? So there's that reflex, which I've spoken about many, many times in other videos, but that autopilot, instantaneous, involuntary, super fast reflex that happens when a part of us thinks we're under attack, we're not safe, we're not lovable, and we've kind of got into this behavioral pattern of going to the I'm not safe zone over and over and over and over, especially particularly around this particular theme or this issue that you want to let go of. And it's often, it's got some complexity, it's got some history, and the history may go back a lot farther than you realize. So, your body's going into autopilot, and it's still okay. You're not doing anything wrong, but it's really, really important to start to do the gentle questioning and gently unpackaging how did I get to fight or flight? What is it about this issue that got me, at a very visceral level, scared, got me sort of trying to cope, got me trying to survive, trying to get through it, trying to make sure it doesn't happen again. How can I, and it's not even conscious, right? It can happen when we're very, very young and we're just like, okay, somewhere in the background, a part of us is deciding, what do I need to do to survive this? What do I need to do to cope with this? So a really good example would be perhaps you were unfortunately maybe raised with a parent that was quite negative, that somewhere in their past they learned to focus on the negativity because that's the best way to be safe. Try to always be working towards perfection, trying always to be better and better, trying harder. That's good, but not quite good enough. That's good, but you could probably do a little bit better. And so very, perhaps you had a parent who was very focused on the places that weren't quite up to snuff. And then a part of you began to believe, which is super common, there must be something wrong with me. And then we begin to develop these behavior patterns of fear of mistakes, making sure that, maybe we're freezing. Maybe we're like, okay, I'm going to make no decision in case I make the wrong decision. Better to just stay put and mark time here and not move forward with anything in life rather than make an error, make a mistake because I'm going to get criticized again. And these behavior patterns can be so old and so ingrained that we no longer really need to do it that way anymore. We're grown up, we're adults, we're running our own lives, we're making our own decisions. But there's this subroutine. This virus going on inside, right? That's maybe not the best term right now with our pandemic, but like a virus in your computer that's undermining your best efforts to move forward. And you're doing a lot of, football coach style of rallying yourself and trying to be positive, and you're still noticing it only lasts so long, and I'm right back where I started. I'm sabotaging myself. But trying to have that mindset of curiosity and gently, very compassionately asking yourself, what about this is a little bit worrying or a little scary, or it makes me feel uneasy if I actually no longer had to deal with this? And there's a multitude of answers that could come up, for you around that, but they often have to do with either safety issues, not safe, or love issues. I won't be loved if I won't be appreciated. I won't get any attention, right? If I let this go, whatever this is. So I think, I just wanted to kind of address that sort of that sabotage, that sort of, it's a bad word. I'm not sabotaging myself, that kind of, and know that is really normal, and everybody does it around the stuff that's big or the stuff that's been around for a long time. Otherwise it wouldn't be there, right? It's obviously serving, or once served, some kind of purpose for you. So what do you do? You let go of the current issue that you're tapping on right now, probably just for a few minutes, and you back up and tap on fight or flight. So, this is how I would do it. This is, after all the years of working with people, I've been doing this I've been tapping since 2006, and I've been working with people in a private practice since 2003. But what I learned over many, many years and lots of trial and error is you got to back up a little bit and deal with the part of you, the part of your brain that's gone into fight or flight. That the amygdala are firing, they're sending out messaging to the adrenals, pump adrenaline, like stress, get out of there, save yourself, freeze, right? Protect yourself by just nobody move, nobody breathe. It's really, it's basic, and all animals have that reflex. So what would you do? You would go back to the beginning, go back to your setup, whether you do it here, whether you do it here. And something like, even though I'm noticing that the SUDS level really isn't dropping, I've tapped for quite a few minutes now, and my distress is not diminishing. That's interesting. I love the word wonder, I wonder if I'm in my fight or flight with this, right? But I deeply and completely accept myself anyway, even though I might be sabotaging myself, and not intentionally, but there must be something going on if I keep needing to tap on this and yet nothing's happening, nothing's shifting. I wonder how this behavior pattern has served me in the past. Right? That gentle, loving curiosity. I wonder what's going on. And yet I deeply and completely accept myself, right? Even though, and I love this, these parts of me, even though there's this one part of me that is definitely so done with this and so anxious to get over it and move on and get my life back and feel lighter around it. And then there's this other part of me, for some reason, and I may not be fully conscious of it yet, but for some reason is holding on. And yet, I'm choosing to deeply and completely accept myself anyway, or deeply and completely accept both these parts of me, right? Because they're both playing an important role. And then you do your usual tapping. Do a few rounds, breathe deeply, using phrasing like my fight or flight. That's subconscious. Your body knows what you're talking about. My fight or flight. My fight or flight reflex. I'm running for my life on some level. There's a part of me that needs this, that believes I'm not safe, and I absolutely am under attack. It's an ancient part of me that knows how to get me out of the way when there's danger. I just got stuck there for a little while. And I'm tapping with that part of me right now. Right? So that's how we would address that part when we get stuck, when we're sabotaging, when we're in psychological reversal. And we're noticing, I'm kind of spinning my wheels. I'm working real hard, tapping away, coming at it from different directions, and not a whole lot is shifting. Okay? So, sabotage. Really, really important to know, and especially if you are an EFT student, or if you are a keen tapper who's tapping for yourself and maybe tapping with tapping buddies. Super important to recognize when sabotage arrives, when psychological reversal, arrives, and the person is yeah but, or they're spinning and spinning and they're tapping and tapping and nothing's really shifting. It's got a very powerful feel to it. And it may not be it often isn't conscious. So we have to be very gentle, very light, very loving, and a little bit of curiosity peppered in there really, really helps. Okay, so I'm Susan Bushell, EFT accredited trainer, and my website is freeyoremotions.com. I have lots of different options for you to work with me if you're interested. Like I said, I do one-on-one sessions. I teach and train EFT students. I always have trainings coming up. And I mentor students as well, of course. I also have a membership program. So if you want to work with me in a group and borrow benefits together, that's a really, really affordable way to join me each month for 2 hours and tap along on current themes that the group chooses. So it's very custom designed for the group. So you can find that under the tab that says EFT membership, and it's called the Tapping for Life membership. Okay, good. And feel free to reach out to me through my website. I'm always happy to hear from you, and I'm never too far from my inbox. Bye for now.